So I'm over here at this spot, community college, taking my classes again. So yeah, I'm coming over here, right? I'm walking. And I spot her. Well, Cindy with a C. Let's see, this is where the water fountain is at. Come up over here. She's sitting right here. She's doing her work and shit. Oh, this seems a little bit more shadier. It's actually on this side. Yeah, on this side. So she's sitting here. Sit down. I stand up. I look at her. She's sitting right there. Like, hey, go up. I get a cigarette off you or whatever. She looks at me. She's like, yeah, sure. I was like, can I smoke it with you? Yeah. Sit down. I get the cigarette. Let me go get my cigarette. Hold on. She was smoking them Marlboro Camel Crushes. She liked the Camel Crush. I didn't like them too much. Camel Crushes. Excuse me. You got an extra cigarette?
Do you need a lighter?
Yeah, can I borrow it?
I like your bandana.
Oh, thank you. There you go. You be safe, God bless. And so we go. So I got the Camel Crush. I don't like to crush them, I mean, I'll leave it like that. But. So we sit down. I'm talking to her. Starting this simple chat. She had on a black long sleeve, dark blue jeans. She had her hair long. Found out later that they were extensions because her hair was like up to here. And she had blue eyes. She was just sitting there. She was a blue eyes white dragon. So we're sitting here, whatever. She's doing her work, and we start chit-chatting. I told her, I was like, hey, you know, we go out to parties and all that, and I don't know if you like to go. And she's like, well, I don't really party. I was like, well, can I get your number then, so that way, you know, we could talk. And she's like, yeah, sure. I was down her number and everything, and I was like, all right, thanks. And so I finished my cigarette. Well, I'm still going on. So we start talking and everything all the way till the cigarette's done. You know, and I tell her, you know, I did like her. She was very beautiful. All my exes are very beautiful. I got good taste. Just sometimes I have poor judgment, or I react too fast, or I didn't pay attention. But regardless, so I end up getting my cigarette done. And so I get up and I start walking around. And at that time I was with my homeboy. And so we're going out fishing and everything. And so I'm going out and I start walking around. And then I start trying to get some more numbers and everything. I'm talking to these other girls. Hey, what's up? This and that. End up talking to some other girl. I think she was over here. But she was in the next. And I know that Liz used to chill around here sometimes. Somewhere around here on these sides. She used to be over here with everybody else, with my other brothers. So we'll be over there. Brothers, and some of them were cousins, but we start chilling and everything. Well, I didn't chill with them here. I'm just walking around, still trying to get numbers and everything before class start. And so I'm going over there, and then let me say this. So I come over here. I start walking around. And I remember I had Jessica for class. I used to get all excited and stuff. I met her through Melissa. So I come over here. I come in. We have this class right here. come sitting in. It was some lady. Psychology class. I was sitting right here in this seat. Jessica was over there in the top corner. I'll be sitting right here. So I'm all slouching and shit. She's over there in that top corner, or the second or the first one. I'm sitting there. Well, this teacher decides to try to embarrass the shit out of everybody. So she starts saying, she's standing up here, and she's like, "Did you know that if you have multiple brothers, then you're more likely to do some gay shit?" And I was like, well, she didn't say gay shit, but she said, "You're more likely to interact in some homosexuality." I was like, what the heck? And she's like, same thing goes for girls. And then so she walks up, and I have this girl named Vanessa. It's not my vieja, it's another Vanessa. She's kind of tall. She walks up to her and she's like, "And you? Do you have any other sisters?" She's like, "Yeah, I got a couple of sisters." And then she's like, "And you?" And she points at this other guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I got some brothers." And she's like, "What about you, Ignacio?" And I'm sitting there like, "Yeah, I got two brothers. Why?" And she's like, "Okay." And then she walks back. And then she's like, "You know, people have senses for these type of things." I was like, in my head, I'm like, "What, you got some kind of fucking gay radar or some shit?" And she just like stays there. Class gets dismissed. Don't see that guy anymore because he's all embarrassed or whatever. Me, I'm just like, I don't care. She don't know shit about me. And so me and Jessica get up, and Jessica comes over, and I'm walking over here. And she stops me and she says, "Hey, you're Melissa's ex, huh? Or you're the guy that was with Melissa." I'm walking out, I got my backpack. I was like, "Yeah, well, what's up?" We're walking around the hallways, and she's like, "Well, hold on. Close connection, you know? Need a water break." So she's like, "Oh, yeah, I remember you." I'm like, "Yeah, I remember you too." Because I met her at Melissa's room. We was all rolling, listening to some Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi. So we're walking down the hallways, and I was like, she's like, "You still with him?" I was like, "No, I'm still not with her. We broke up." She's like, "Oh, for real? Do you think that you can give me a ride? Do you still smoke?" I'm like, "Yeah, I still smoke." She's like, "Can you give me a ride home? I don't have a ride, and I really need to get home." I said, "All right." So we go, we get in my car. That time I had a Pontiac. It was green. I guess it used to be a old cop car or whatever, or undercover. I don't know what the heck. I'm not omnipotent. And so they had a speed breaker on it where it can only top out at about 80. Something like that, probably, yeah, I think it was about 80. So I was driving out and we're going about our business. Pull up to her house. It's off of Ralph something. So we get there. I start smoking up a blunt. Oh no, she's like, "Well, we'll smoke right now in a little bit." I was like, "All right." And so I start rolling up the blunt and everything. She puts on some Nicki Minaj. It was that Pink Friday album. She's playing the whole song and everything. She jumps in the shower. When she jumps in the shower and everything, she's all getting ready and everything. I'm just laying down in the room on the bed. Right when you walk into the room, the bed was on the left side. It was on the bottom. It was on the floor, kind of box spring style, and then that. So I'm laying there. I think she had like a desk in the front, on the right corner. And that's where she had her little radio where she would play her music and everything. So I'm laying there, finished rolling up the blunt. And then I hear the shower turn off, so I was like, oh. As soon as she comes out, I stand up because I didn't want to look like a pelao or a pelado. And so I stand up or whatever. And she just looks at me. She's all wrapped up in her towel. And I think it just passed Roman's revenge by that time. So she pushes me. Oh, I lay down, I fall down on the bed. Oh, all dramatic. Oh. She gets up on me and she starts kissing me and everything, and then she does the same thing. She gets up, wiggles her ass, and she's like, "You wish you could have this." I was like, "Well, fuck." You know, I'm not one to go by wishes, you know what I mean? And so, like, I was like, whatever. We end up lighting the blunt, start smoking up. She starts kissing me, and we start kissing each other. And then after that, she's like, "Well, let's go. Can you give me a ride somewhere else?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" I hop into my car again. I'm driving. Feel lucky. I feel like a cool guy. We go up all the way past into the Estes. And so we go over there, pull up into the house. And it's a pretty nice house. It's a big old house. Looks like a little mini mansion or whatever. I was like, shit. So we pull up, and before you know it, this dude that used to fucking laugh at me and talk a lot of shit, some dude named Dominic, comes out of the house. What the fuck? And he comes out and he walks up to the car and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing with my girl?" I was like, "Oh, well, ain't that a funny picture?" I was like, "Motherfucker." I was like, "Damn." I was like, "You used to laugh about me all the time." He's like, "What's up, homie?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know about that." I was like, "I remember when you used to talk all that shit." And so after that, I was like, "What?" I didn't even know about all that, but she liked to chill with me, and we would smoke up and make memories and stuff like that. We used to put the phone like this on the side, inside of my car, right outside of Adrian's house. That's another story for another time. So we're sitting there, whatever. She'd be out there on the front, on the passenger side. We'd be smoking, doing like funny videos and shit. And then the next time we featured out Adrian. He's sitting on the back, my cousin. He's over there with his bandana. He's got it like this. He's doing this dance, so he's all in the back. We're all listening to some tunes and shit, just recording, having a good old time and everything. And keep in mind, remember all these times me and my vieja were separated. So like finally, well, not finally, I think those episodes should have gotten a little bit longer, but after everything, me and my vieja get back together. She sees the videos, she deletes them right off the bat. I was like, oh, fucking broke my heart. She's got a whole little chest full of all her little goodies of all her people that she used to be with and everything. And she got rid of all mine. She got rid of a lot of stuff that I had, and I thought that was pretty fucked up. But, you know, do to others as you want done to you, as they always say. So I'm pretty sure that shit's gone, or gonna be gone. And so yeah, we have all these videos. We had like about 3 of them together. And so at that time I was staying at my cousin's house. And so we get back, she sees everything. Jessica texts me. She's like, "Hey, how's it going? Can you pick me up? You want to chill and all this?" And Vanessa grabs my phone and she messages and say, "Hey, this is his girl, so why don't you leave him alone?" and all this shit. Starts talking shit. Jessica sends me one last message. Cheeto. She's actually the one that gave me the nickname Cheeto Sex for my rap name. Cheeto Sex XXX. And so after that, she messages me and she says, "Well, Cheeto, is this what you want? Like, are you sure?" And Vanessa grabs my phone. Oh, she still has my phone, and she messages and says, "Yes." She says, "All right, fine." Blocked me, hasn't ever talked to me ever since. I mean, I try to reach out, I try to say something, but she had told me about how her and Dominic were gonna have a baby, and that Dominic wanted to pay for the abortion. He gave her $300 or some shit like that, and he told her to get the abortion. She kept the fucking money from what she was telling me, because she had asked me, she's like, what do you think I should do? And I said, well, you should keep the baby. And she's like, why do you say that? I said, because you'd be a great mother. Why don't you keep the baby and everything? And I guess that convinced her into it. That she just took the 300, says that she got the abortion, and she just jet with the money. Clever girl, might I say. Quite a velociraptor. And so she keeps the money, she takes off, she breaks up with them, I guess, or I don't know what ends up happening. I'm not omnipotent. Like I said, she stopped talking to me, and I don't know what ended up happening after that. I do know that she ended up having a baby. Later on, I went looking for her and everything, went up to her grandma's house. I asked her if she was there. She's like, you crazy little shit. Well, she didn't say that, but in her words, it translated that to me. You know, me being a Korean, Mexican, and native Indian. So the whole translation kind of gibbered out, and that's what it was saying. And she's like, you know what? The boy ended up getting taken away into CPS, and he died there. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm thinking to myself, isn't your dad a cop? Like, how did he allow that to happen? So I was pissed, even more pissed. And so, you know, we did get busted one time with marijuana, chronic. And that was before she was even pregnant. And she used to have these fucking scars all over her wrist and shit. So I was even more pissed when I found out about that. And so, you know, when that happened, we got pulled over. I was trying to make some drops. Turns out that this dude ended up snitching on me and shit. And so I fucking go, and they picked me up. They picked me up off of Vista. So I ended up telling him, like, out there on the curve, there's like a little curve, little turnaround or whatever, that little circle, and then you can kind of go up towards the other parts. And so they pulled me over there because I told this dude my locations I was going, because at that time I was slanging some snacky snacks, and or snackety snacks. So I go, and they pull me over or whatever, and it was me, Jessica, and then Adrian in the back. So he's like, well, can I search your vehicle? I start searching around and shit. Turns out in the back seat, he finds a little baggie of some snackety snacks. It was a Scooby snack. And so after that, they're like, well, whose is this? I was like, shit, that shit ain't mine. I can't go back to jail. At that time, I was already, juvie. I was like, I can't go back to juvie again. I was like, I already been there a couple of times. And since it wasn't mine, you know, at that time, I didn't have any snackety snacks. There was, when they found it, I don't know if it was Adrian's, but he's like, no, that's not mine. And they look at Jessica, or we look at Jessica, and she already had told me that her dad was a cop. So I figured, you know, like, they let her go. So they get it, and I was like, well, it's not mine. He says it's not hers, and then she's like, she looks at me. She's like, are you serious? I was like, I don't know why. I shouldn't have brought him. So then, like, I found out that in the end, he wasn't even my cousin. It was just a homie of mine. So I was like fucking pissed. And so they ended up taking her. She ends up going. And I kind of figured it's because he wanted me to get arrested so he could take my car and take her out and go do whatever he wants. Since, you know, I was staying at his house for a while. But he hadn't ever really told me anything. So I didn't really think of anything like it was bad. I'd help him clean out. I try to, you know, at that time I had another ex that I'm gonna talk about a little bit later on. Probably go walk to that spot. And so yeah, all that happens, and we're gonna close it off there and leave it at that. But one last spot that I wanted to talk about, the first time that I came across the Bible when I had overdose. Came walking out here, just got Red Lobster with my mother and my daddy. And then like I'm walking by, this guy sitting right here, and he says, "Hey man, come here, sit down real quick." Sit down. It's like, for some reason, I don't know why, but I feel like you need this. Puts the Bible on my lap. I start jetting through them pages, and we're gonna stop right there.